Hello and welcome back. We're about to start Shapeshift 1.0 Workout C. We're going to be working our chest today. We're going to be working our back as well. We're also going to be working our legs and our glutes, and we're going to be doing 2 core moves. All right, we're going to be getting started with a warm-up. We're going to be spreading our feet nice and wide, and we're going to be doing some cross taps, down and up and over. This is always a great way to start a workout. Warming up our upper body, warming up our lower body. Nice big movements. Getting the heart rate up. Going into high knee, ready and go. Knee to elbow on one side. 30 seconds. Make sure that front foot's planted in the ground. Make sure you're tilted slightly towards the floor. Getting ready to switch sides in just a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides and go ahead. Again, this helps to warm up the upper body as well as the lower body, warming up the hip flexors, getting the heart rate up. Few seconds left on this side. 3, 2, and 1. Going nice and wide. Squat and up. Squat and up. Down and up, body weight squats, just to get the legs nice and stretched out. Warming up the glutes, warming up the knees and the quads. Down and up, go as low as you can. The deeper the move, the better the stretch, the better the warm up. A few seconds left here. 3, 2, and 1, and we're gonna go cross punch. Side to side. Getting a nice twist through the torso. Few seconds left of our warm-up. Then we're gonna be getting started on our strength training circuit. Only a few seconds left. 2 to 3 minute warm up is all it takes, doing big movements for the body. Getting the heart rate up. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're starting our first exercise with chest flies. So we're gonna need a bench for that, or the floor. If you don't have a bench, you may use the floor. So I'm gonna be sitting on the bench. We're doing 6 moves, 3 rounds, 60 seconds each. Starting with chest flies. Bringing the weights up to our hip, rolling back on the bench. Making sure everything is secure. Weight above the chest. Ready, and open, and close. If you're using heavy weights, you'll be doing slower reps. If you're using lighter weights, you might be doing faster reps. So just make adjustments as needed. You really want to feel that stretch across the chest. And as well as when you close, you're going to be feeling those muscles in the biceps, in the chest. Nice stretch across the chest there. Making sure we're working in a 60-second time interval. After this, we're going to be going into some step ups. We're almost there. One more rep down and up and bring it in. Great, okay. Now I'm going to be changing my bench position while I do the step ups. We're going into a full circuit here. You may use a lower bench if you like, but I always say if you can do higher, go for it. We're going to go single leg step up. 30 seconds per side. And starting right now. Make sure that any leg movement you do, weight goes through the heels. Knees should not pass the toes. Try not to use momentum while you're doing the step-ups. Make that leg work for it. You can go body weight. You can do a lower step. You can even go higher if you like. If you can, go for it. And switching legs. If you do not have a step and you're able to, sometimes I like reverse lunges. They work too for a good leg movement. Breathing out on the effort, breathing in on the return. So the step up is the effort. Lowering down is the return. We're going to breathe it again. We're almost there. One more rep up. Great. Bring it back down. I'm going to reposition the bench while we're on a little bit of a 15 to 20 second rest. We're now going into reverse flies. So you might need a little bit of a lighter weight for these. Working the back muscles, the rhomboids. Leaning forward, holding a nice straight posture, and go ahead. Weights go back and in. Make sure that you don't wing your arms backwards behind you. A reverse fly is almost like a chest fly, but it's just reversing the move. We're looking at the floor. We're in a deadlift position. Back is nice and straight. Make sure you pull the shoulders back. We don't want to see any crouching in the back. We want to make sure we're training our posture to be nice and strong, nice and straight, nice and stable. You do not need heavy, heavy weights for this. As we know right now, we're in a glute hold, as well as our core is also holding onto this position and helping to support our back. So we do not need heavy, heavy weights. All we need is good form and some light weights, maybe 5 to 8s. And if you've been doing this exercise for a while, you might be moving up into 10 or 12 pounds. And if so, that's awesome. We're doing 1 rep here. Bring it in. Good. Okay. Next move, we're going to be working our glute muscle. All right. So for this move, I'm starting at the back of the mat. I want to make sure I have enough room to roll myself out nice and slowly. Rolling myself out onto a mat. Make sure I have grip on the floor. Lowering my butt down so it touches the floor. The weight is across the hips. You may use any weight that works for you. This one's 15 pounds. We're just going to start with this one for today, but really we're just going into a weighted bridge and back down. So weighted bridge, push it up and back down. If you don't have a weighted stick, you can also hold a dumbbell on your hips as well. So that also works. If you want to do body weight, that works too until you get some weights. You're working out from home, so if you're doing these at home, you can find things around the house as well, weighted objects and things like that to hold. You can also hold a medicine ball on your hips too. That fits nicely in the curve of the hip flexors. We're almost there. 20 seconds left. Up into the bridge, back down. Up and back down. Few seconds left. Focusing on weight in the heels. When you bring the hips up, feeling the glutes flexing, lower it down. When you're done, rolling back up and putting the bar on the floor in front of you. Okay, I'm going to be moving this bar now. I'll put this right here to the side of the bench. We're going to be going into inchworms. So we have 2 core moves now to complete the circuit. And again, I'm at the back of the mat, feet are at the corner of the mat. Going into inchworms for 60 seconds. Ready and go ahead. Walk it out into hand plank. Nice straight back, walk it back, all the way up. Go as fast or as slow as you need to. Walk it out, walk it back and up. Just keep going. Go at your own pace. You will get stronger. I promise you. Go at your own pace. Listen to your body. We're halfway there. Walk it out. Nice straight back. Walk it back and up. We want our workouts to be as efficient as possible, as quick as possible. And we're on one more rep here. Walk it out and bring it back and up. For our final move for the circuit, we're going to be going into side bends. I have a kettlebell here, but you may use a dumbbell too. We're just standing, finding some level ground, feet hip width apart. We're doing one side at a time. We're leaning to the side, coming up and straightening. The side and straighten. I always say slide it down to the knees and straighten. Down to the knees and straighten. Keep that core activated. Hold it nice and tight. One more rep on this side. And switching sides. Right into the next side. Lean and straighten. Lean and straighten. Make sure that the arm that's holding the weight, we're not moving it, we're not lifting it, we're not doing anything with it. The core is doing all the work. All you have to do is lean in, keep that core nice and tight and controlled. And we only have a few seconds left. And then we've completed set one. Last rep right here to the side and up. Perfect. Make sure you grab a drink of water in between sets to stay hydrated. And we're going to be getting ready to start set two. So we only have 2 sets left. If your weights were a bit lighter for the first set, go a bit heavier. Challenge yourself. If they were a bit too heavy, go a bit lighter. All right, we're getting ready to start set 2, workout C, Shapeshift 0.1, which is a series of strength training phases to help women transform their bodies. One step at a time. Bring it back onto the bench. Make sure you're secure. Weights over the chest and go ahead. Open, nice stretch across the chest and close. And we're breathing out with the effort and breathing in on the return. Paying attention to our body, feeling the stretch across the chest. Nice slow reps for heavier weight. If you're limited to what you have at home, just find what you can and do quicker reps to create more of that burn. Going through, trying to get a bit stronger, trying to switch your body composition. You want to lose some inches. You want to create that lean muscle mass. So you need to hit up the muscles at the right intensity. Last rep, bring it in. Lower, bring it up. We're going into step ups, or like I said, if you don't have a step and you're able, you can do lunges. I'm just moving this equipment around during our little break here. Getting some stuff set up. Going into our single leg step ups. And ready? Go ahead. 30 seconds per side. Weight through the heels. Remember, the body transforms in phases, in workout phases. So we have 5 levels for women to complete in order to create a stronger, healthier, leaner body. Boost up the metabolism. Switching legs. Go ahead, up, back down. Your movements should feel stable. If you're feeling like you're a little bit off balance, like your body really isn't ready for the weight that you want to lift, reduce the weight a little bit until it becomes a little bit easier. And then when it becomes easier, then you may add weight. This is the best way to build upon the foundations of the movements. One more rep and back down. Moving our bench over. I just want to make sure I give you the best views. You can see what I'm doing. Picking up our weights. Going into our reverse fly. Here we go, a few seconds. Making sure that we're in proper form. We have our glute hold happening, our core hold. We're pulling our shoulders back and go ahead, wing it back and in. Like I said, you do not need heavy weights for this. Your body is doing a lot more than you think. Holding a form in midair, you have every muscle in your body working, your back, your core, your glutes. Pay attention to the form. Make sure you're not pulling, move back this way. Make sure you're coming up, working within your shoulder window, shoulder range. Weight should be around your shoulders at all times. Almost there, 15 seconds. Breathe through each movement. And last rep right here. Good. Straighten. Throw the weights to the side. Getting ready for our hip thrust again. I have my bar here in front of me. Getting my ball. I'm at the edge of my mat. Picking up the bar. Putting it on my hips. Walking it down. It's like I'm in a squat position. I have a nice wide stance in my legs. Ready to go up into the bridge and back down. Paying attention when you're raising your hips. It's a glute bridge hold. And common mistakes for this one are rolling back. So don't roll back. If you find yourself doing this, make a correction. It's up and back down. I know some can do this from the bench, a workout bench. I find the stability ball is really nice for this movement. Cushions the back nicely. It's nice and soft. I love these mobility sticks as well. Can move them around. A lot easier than a barbell. We're almost there. Last rep, here we go. We're going up and back down, roll it back. And we're standing up with our weight. I'm going to put this to the side. Getting ready for our inchworms. Feet at the edge of the mat. Go ahead, walk it out. Hand plank, walk it back and up. Go as fast or as slow as you need to go. Sometimes if you're somebody that has a lot of tightness in the hamstrings or the glutes, you might find this one a bit difficult to do at first. But I guarantee you that this movement is going to help you break up all those tight muscles. It's also creating a lot of strength in the upper body as well as the core. Just go at a nice moderate pace, breathing in and out. 15 seconds left. Last one, walk it out. Walk it back and up, using those legs. Going into our side bend. Getting ready to do 30 seconds per side. Working on our core, our obliques. Go ahead, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. You don't need a crazy bend to feel this one. You only really need to go down to the knee and up. It's really all about just getting a bit more strength happening in our oblique muscles, our QLs, the muscles that help us bend and lift. Creating a nice strong back, very, very important. Last rep on this side. Great, switching sides, going right into the move. and up. This is an exercise too that you might engage in. You might not feel like you're doing much, but then the next day you're probably going to feel it. If you laugh, if you drive in your car, you're turning a bend, you're going to feel that core catch. And you're going to be aware of the different areas of your life where your core actually does activate and work hard, but you're just not really aware of it until you have sore muscles. Last rep and straighten. Fantastic. Grab a sip of water. And we're going into our last set. Almost done. Getting our dumbbells ready for our chest flies. This is super exciting. Getting stronger, feeling better, boosted energy, having a better mood, having a better mindset. It all works together. And taking a little bit of time out of your day makes a huge, huge difference. Roll it back, weight above the chest, and go ahead, open and close. Try to keep the arms partially bent, but not completely bent. We don't want to mix this move up with the chest press. We want to make sure that when we do this move, it does create a nice stretch across the chest, but only if your arms are not bent like a chest press. So a lot of the times too, we'll find that if we're bench pressing a certain weight, when we do the flies, the weight will be lower. Those muscles are a bit smaller that we are working. So we're going to need to downgrade our weight just a little bit when we do our flies. Different movement, different way that the weights are outside of the body line. So we want to make sure that we are aware of that. When we do the chest press, our weights are a little bit more within our body range. That's why it's a little bit of a different movement. Last rep, bring it up and in. All right. Gonna switch this around here, making sure that I use proper back stability when I lift and move, even my workout equipment. I have a straight back. I'm not bending it. Everything is activated while I'm moving around my fitness gear. We have to apply what we're learning in our strength training to everyday life so we don't injure our back. Single leg step ups and go ahead. Weight through the heels. Make sure the full heel is on the step. Don't let it hang off the side. Make sure the leg that's behind isn't helping. Make sure you're not springing up into the step. Make sure you're not using momentum from the weights and swinging up forward. One more rep on this side, switching sides. Make sure that leg on the step is doing all the work. Weight through the heels. Almost there, a few seconds left. We're on set 3, so hang in there. Last rep here, up, back down. Great. Putting these to the side. Moving my bench around, out of my way. Going into our reverse flies. So we just did lower body, now we're back to upper body. Getting into our proper form for our reverse flies. All right. Leaning forward, back is nice and straight. We have our glutes pushed out, activation, and go ahead. Facing the floor. It's weights against gravity that help to activate our muscles. So we have to think about that when we're working on form, exercise form. Hang on to the core there, hang on to the glutes. Watching the clock here, making sure that we are 60 seconds right on. We want to make sure we get our workouts in as quickly as possible, but we want to make sure that we're being super efficient. which means that the workouts we do are going to generate massive results. 5 seconds left. Keep breathing. Last rep. Bring it in and up. Good. Going into our hip thrusts. At the edge of our mat or your workout area. I work out in my socks, so I make sure that I have the mats on the floor that I need to create good grip for my feet, for my body. And we're getting ready. 60 seconds of hip thrust for the glutes. Go ahead. Bring it up and back down. Work at your own pace. Come up as high as you can go. If you find you can't get as high as you'd like to, your hip flexors might be super tight across this line here. So I do recommend focusing on opening up that area to improve anything that has to do with a hip extension or a hip thrust or a bridge. You're going to want to make sure you work on those areas. Do some foam rolling, do some stretching. Nice controlled movements. Even on your way down, don't fall to the floor. Create some resistance. Nice controlled movements. Be meaningful when you flex your muscles. Notice which muscles are working for each exercise. Last rep up and back down. Walking it up. Two more left, everyone. Getting this ball out of the way for good. Going into inchworms for 60 seconds. Making sure we take a second to breathe. Maybe somebody's taking a drink. Perfect. Stay hydrated. Drink as much as you want during your workout. Little sips here and there. Ready? Go ahead. Walk it out. Walk it back. It's set 3. We got to make it count. Walk it out. Walk it back. Challenge yourself. If you find that you've been doing this workout circuit, the 1.0, you've been doing these movements, sometimes we can get complacent. And we don't think that maybe we should speed it up a little bit. So if you do feel like you've been going a little bit slower on these and you really haven't tried hard to push yourself for those extra 5 reps, you create a quicker movement. You just watch how quick you progress when you challenge yourself. And that's where results come from. The challenge. Pushing yourself up, leveling up at the right time, not staying complacent. Being consistent. Doing it anyway, even though it's hard. Run our last rep. Walk it out. Bring it back and up. Last one, everyone. Side bends, set 3. Workout C out of the Shape Shift program. Ready, go ahead. Side bend and up. Breathing in and out. This one goes pretty fast. It's a single side movement. So we're going to be switching halfway through in about 5 seconds. Last rep on this side. Great. Switching sides and go ahead. Bend and straighten. Pay attention to the core. Make sure it's all locked in. If you feel stable and wobbly, again, lower your weight until you feel stable, until you feel comfortable with the form, until you've worked on opening up the body a little bit more to improve movement. We're almost there. A few seconds left. Last rep, bend and straighten. We are now done. Workout C, Shape Shift 1.0. And now we're going to be taking some time to stretch. We're just going to pull this mat back a little bit. All right, here we go. Stretching routine. Want to make sure we stretch our hip flexors. Bringing it out into kneeling lunge. If you find it hard to put pressure on your knee, You might want to do the runner's lunge. If it's hard for you when you do this to get your hands to the floor, you can actually use some dumbbells or some yoga blocks to raise your hands. So you can use these to make sure that you're a little bit more elevated off the floor. You can make these stretches and positions a bit easier to complete. Right? So that's if you're looking for modifications. Switching legs, leaning in for the stretch. Breathing in and out, of course, lowering our heart rate, bringing it down after our workout. Your workout intensity is up to you. You do what's best for your body. You want to go hard, push it hard, go heavy, go for it. If you're more like moderately working out, using moderate weights, doing moderate breathing, being more mindful with a little bit more of a relaxed approach, that's amazing too. Everybody's body is so different. And it's nice when we know we're going to be going into cat and cow right now. It's nice when we start to learn what kinds of exercises work best for our body. You know, it's not really about the exercise, it's how you do it. It's how you do your workout. I can give somebody the same workout routine, but give them a different way to do it based on what their body needs. And all those heavy, intense, hard workouts aren't really the greatest for women that are struggling with high stress, chronic fatigue. They're going to want to work out at more of a moderate pace to alleviate further symptoms of what they're going through, so their body can actually have a chance to recover and come out of it. So this last cat, we're going up for the stretch and holding, bringing it back down into tabletop. We're going into downward dog, up to the toes, bringing it back. Try to get those heels to the floor. You're really going to feel the stretching in the calves, in the Achilles, behind the knees. If your hamstrings are tight, you're also going to be feeling them in your hamstrings. So maybe you did some deadlifts, maybe you were doing, you know, anything that has to do with strengthening the hamstrings. You might even feel them behind the thighs for this workout. All right, after that, we're going to be bringing it down to the floor, going into child's pose. This helps us stretch out our lats as well as our legs. When we're in this folded position here, you know that if you can get your heel to your glute, you have great range of motion in your quads. If you're having a hard time getting down there and you're kind of stuck, it might be your quads. You might have to foam roll them and do some stretching. Bringing it down to the floor, reaching forward. Nice stretch there underneath the arms. Bring your head to the floor. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to bring it up into chest stretch. This might look different for everyone. You might even stand and do the chest stretch if you're having issues with your knees or anything like that in your feet. You might be doing it from the floor. You might be doing it up on your toes, which is a great stretch for underneath the feet. You might be up on your knees like this. You might be standing like this. We're going to turn it around and go side stretch and hold. Give those oblique muscles a really good stretch from the side bends we did. We want to make sure we stretch the muscles that we work, stretch the movements that we do, and switching sides. This is our last stretch and the end of our workout C in the 1.0 series. Awesome job. See you next workout.